Hi guys, and welcome back to Tangy Tea of Life. I'm your host Veronica. My co-host Brittany is back with us tonight, and we have a special guest sitting with us tonight, Sonyetta Cooper. Hi, Sonyetta.
Hey, girls.
So glad to have you here sipping some tea with us tonight. Sonyetta, she's Cooper's Coaching and Consulting LLC, and Sonyetta, you do a lot for the community, as far as like helping women and teenagers, and we're gonna let you tell us a little bit about what you do, because you do so much. So I'm gonna let you share with us.
Okay. Well, my name, as she said, is Sonyetta Cooper, and I started Cooper's Coaching and Consulting approximately 3 months ago. I was the director of a local homeless shelter in Florence, and did that for about 2 years. And I've also contract with the Columbia Urban League's Level Up program, and I work with youth that are underserved, and I help them with job placement, job training, also helping them with college prep, finding out what they want to do in the future. My heart has always been with youth because I started a nonprofit in 2005 called Girls of the PD, and back then I used to work in the field of HIV and teen pregnancy, and I just saw the progression of young women getting pregnant, and also young people contracting the HIV and AIDS virus. So I always feel like if I'm not a part of the solution, then I'm a part of the problem. And so just recently I just decided to launch out and start my own business, and that is a coaching and consulting business. And I work with youth and adults, mainly up to age 25 sometimes is who I've been recently working with, to basically get to a point that you figure out, I'm here now, but what are the steps that I need to take to get to my goals? And so I am the coach that helps them get on the field, and I'm going to push you, and I'm going to assist you. It's already on the inside of you. I just kind of help you maneuver the fact of what it is that you need to do to become a winner.
Right.
Yeah.
So they contact you. Do you like, if they're searching for, say, a job, so they come to you with a place already in mind, or do you select the places where you can get them?
So with my program with the Columbia Urban League, we have a summer enrichment program, and these are youth that I already mentor in Florence County, Lake City, Pamplico, and Timmonsville. And these youth are sent to me from different agencies when they need to sign them up for this program, and most of them are either Medicaid eligible or they are in foster care. And so during our summer enrichment program, we take them to Columbia for a week, and they go through like a job training course, and we teach them everything from STEM to how to act and how to dress when they're working. And then that next week they start working, and they work for 4 weeks during the summer with different agencies that will sign up to say that I want to be a part of this summer enrichment program, and the Columbia Urban League pays the youth to work, but the agency just houses them to work. So on the last year, we had places like the Housing Authority of Florence, the Community Action Agency. We had a choice to make. We had a lawyer's office. Some of my youth worked at summer programs with New Ebenezer Baptist Church. Some of them worked with just different agencies, and it was so an enrichment for them to be able to work at a place. They had to dress appropriately. They had to show up on time. They had to have good customer service skills. If they didn't, they could get fired. And so they got a check every 2 weeks for the program, and it's just awesome. And I've got, my kids are already like, okay, Ms. Cooper, we're ready to work again this summer. But the program is year round, so I work with the kids all year round. And so during this time of the year, I visit the schools, and I visit them, if they're doing sports or if they're singing with Tiger Production or anything. I try to go and be there for them so that they'll know that, some kids' parents don't show up.
Right.
Some kids don't have anybody that are listening to them.
Right.
And there are a lot of things that our youth are dealing with that nobody is talking to them about. And a lot of parents don't know how to deal with some of these issues. So I'll be that mentor and I'll be that friend as well as being that coach. But I let them know if there's anything you tell me that is dangerous to you or someone else or life-threatening, then I'm going to have to tell your parent or possibly report it.
Right.
Because we see the rise of teen suicide and bullying and so many other things that are happening with our youth, and it just tugs at my heart to hear some of the things that the youth tell me. And sometimes talking to parents, some parents is like talking to a brick wall, and that just comes from sometimes they don't know.
Right.
A lot of parents don't know how to deal with some of these issues, and they don't know where to go to find the resources. They don't know who to talk to, or that keeping it in the house type thing. What happens in the house stays in the house. And so a lot of times they don't want to deal with some of the issues that our teens are suffering and dealing with.
Right. And that's a good thing that you're doing, because some teens don't feel comfortable or feel like they don't feel comfortable talking to their own parents. So to have someone like you who they can come to and trust in, and and just tell them what they want to get off their heart, that's a good thing to have someone like you in that field to help them out.
I have a lot of workshops with my youth, and I use evidence-based curriculums, like Girls Circle. There's one I use with young ladies specifically. It's girls only. And then the boys, we have something called Boys Council. I just recently took that training, and there were a lot of men in the room, and I'm so excited that there were a lot of men, even men from our sheriff's department, Darlington Sheriff's Department, different areas, and then other agencies that were there, that we'll all be collaborating together. So I'm not a lone ranger. I'm not doing the work by myself. There's other people that are out there that I partner with. And the thing is, a lot of people want to do the work, but they don't know where to start. And they're like, well, I want to start a program. I want to do this. And a part of my organization is I do consulting, because I've been working in the field of nonprofit for about 25 years. A lot of people say, I want to start a nonprofit. I'm going to get a 501c3. I'm going to start a nonprofit and get a grant. That's not what it's about. If you have a passion for helping in whatever area, the first thing that I request and suggest to them is go to an agency that's already doing it.
Yeah.
You got to put your time in.
Right.
You've got to put the work in. You've got to know what's already being done, so we won't be trying to reinvent the wheel, and then figure out if there's a need for what you want to do, because we don't need 10 organizations doing the same thing. But I promise you, there is a need out there that's not being fulfilled that you could probably do. Something that we have on the inside of us. All of us has something on the inside of us that we can offer to the next person. And the reason why I'm so passionate about helping people is because people help me.
Right.
I was a single parent. I'm proud to say that I was the first recipient of the Walker E. Solomon Welfare to Work Program Award in Florence County. When they first brought welfare to work to South Carolina, I was the first one to complete the program and receive the plaque.
Wow.
That's a milestone in my life, because I was a single mom with 3 little kids, and that was back in 19. And so now those 3 little kids are now all adults, and they have their own children. So now I'm a mom and I'm a nana of 11 grandchildren that I said, Lord, I didn't know what I was doing when I was having my kids. I had the first one when I was 19 years old. But since you saw so much in me, you've given me a chance by giving me 11 grandkids. God, you gotta love me. That's the way I say it, to not lose my mind. But the best part about it is they're in their own home and they're doing good. And I'm excited to say that the seeds that I sowed back then, I'm seeing the fruits of my labor.
Right. That's a blessing. Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the youth, what's the age? I know you say up until 25, but what is
Now for the coaching program, what I do with coaching right now, the youth that I say up to 25, because a lot of people think they're grown when they turn 21.
Right.
18.
Yeah, 18 these days.
18, but I'm super grown because now I can drink at 21. So I found, even especially when I was working at the shelter, that there were a lot of young women coming through the door that had no clue about life.
Yeah.
They had no clue how to just make a phone call. They had no clue of how to make a doctor's appointment. They had no clue of certain things. So with my coaching, that's what I call youth. Now for the Columbia Urban League, for those youth, it's from ages 14 up to 21 if they're in foster care.
Oh, okay. 14 is the
Now,
youngest.
for your youth is 25 firm. So let's say someone came to you and they were, I don't know, 27, 28, and they were at a place in their life for whatever reason and they needed help.
As a life coach, I would take them if they're 85. Yeah, see, owning my own business, I don't have to cap it. But that's just what I call youth, because I do coach women who are my age and older now, one-on-one coaching, and I do a lot of community events, and so planning women's conferences and women's workshops. I love doing mother-daughter teas. So anything that has something to do with empowerment, I'm there. And so if it's a young woman and she's that age, or he, men as well, I will definitely work with them. It doesn't matter the age. Anybody that says, you know, I think that I could use your services. I'm at a place in my life where I really need to know what's the next steps in order for me to be successful in my future. So for me, in my past, you know, I was at one point in my life married, found myself on the verge of divorce, and I ended up with a life coach. And so ever since then, and that was about 25 years ago, I knew that whatever was on the inside of me, everything that God has brought me through, it wasn't for me.
Right.
It's for somebody else.
Right.
Yeah,
Sharing that testimony.
most definitely. Gonna have to wait to see the Lifetime movie. Okay, hallelujah.
Let's claim it.
Speak it into existence.
Right. So you do public speaking.
Yes, I if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see that there's flyers that are out now. In next month, I'll be in Sumter speaking at Kingdom Impact Church in Sumter. And then in July, I know that I'll be in Myrtle Beach at the Convention Center. I'm working at a 3-day women's, I'm speaking at a 3-day women's conference. And so there are different times that people will call me and ask me to come and speak at, could be at a school, you know, it could be at a church, it could be a youth conference, wherever it is where there needs to be some empowerment, I'm there.
You're on the go.
Well, it definitely needs to be some empowerment when it comes to bullying. That is, like you hearing it more and more and more each day.
And younger and younger.
Yeah.
So when I see some of the stuff that happens, and we're talking about 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, to me,
taking their lives or talking about taking their lives.
I mean, for me, I feel like bullying, although it's never okay, you know, you think of bullying, you know, when you're in high school, and then the kids start to separate the have from the have-nots, and who has the coolest this and who has the coolest that. But when I think of 8, 9, and 10-year-olds, I still think of an innocence there. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out what could possibly exist.
Kids are mean.
Yeah.
I mean, kids were mean when we was coming up, but kids
It's a
are
different type of mean
It's a different
now.
type of mean, and these kids can't take that pressure. Like some kids cannot take the pressure of bullying.
And you know what else I think is also an issue too? Kids aren't kids anymore. And mothers are a lot younger.
Right.
Grandmothers are a lot
where
younger.
they're being raised.
And even some of the stuff that I know I've seen in the classroom, seen some of my students talking about before, I wasn't thinking about when I was their age. Sometimes my mouth is dry.
Right. So my question to you, Sonyetta, is do you see a lot of that? Do you see a lot of kids coming to you wanting support when it comes to bullying?
I do, especially my kids that are in the spectrum of being like straight A students or making good grades or what we used to call a nerd.
Right.
A lot of kids dumb themselves down
Yes.
to fit in
Yeah.
because they don't want to be targeted as that person that thinks that you're better than someone else, or some of our kids get caught cheating because they try to fit in and don't want to be targeted as bullying.
Yeah.
So here we are with a group of young people, very, very young, who have come to the point and said that I don't want to live. So when you think about an 8-year-old committing suicide, these kind of things I didn't hear about when
Right.
I was that age.
Right.
And when you think about kids that talk about, I go to school and I deal with someone talking about my clothes or talking about me, and these kids dress nice. There's nothing wrong with their clothes, but the child that is doing the bullying has their own issues.
Yeah.
So a bully is just someone that takes their frustrations out on someone that's weaker than them.
Right.
Those frustrations come from somewhere. A lot of times, parents know that their child is the bully. A lot of times, parents don't know that their
Right.
child is the bully. But it takes the conversation being had. It takes the parents, when the children come home, to ask every day, how was your day? What happened? Is everything okay? Is there anything you want to share with me? Parents need to be having conversations with their kids every day. Another curriculum that I've worked with is called Strengthening Families. And I did this in Marion County, and Strengthening Families is a course where your kids and your family goes to this program together. And the whole purpose of Strengthening Families is teaching the family how to communicate. So each week when the parents and the children go to their session, the first 30 minutes they have a dinner prepared for them, and they sit at a table together as a family, and they have to sit down and talk.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
That's the first 30 minutes. And then the next 45 minutes they break out and go to classes, and they're learning a curriculum on how to talk to each other. How parents are told in the beginning, no more fussing and no spanking for the next 10 weeks.
Wow.
So that means that you have to come up with different ways to talk to your children, find out why that behavior is happening, and then think of different ways that we can negotiate doing something different.
Yeah.
How we learn, that's what we reciprocate. So if I never learned how to love because
Right.
my mother didn't love me or my dad didn't tell me he loves me,
Yeah, I can't
How
teach
can
you.
you love your child? Or
Now,
show
how can
them
you
or
teach
show
it?
them that you love
Right.
them. Because sometimes what we feel doesn't come off that way. You know?
and I think I'm doing my best.
Right.
I think that I'm a good parent.
Yeah.
I think that, I give them food, I give them shelter, I give them clothes. They better not open their mouth.
Yeah.
How many times do you hug them? How many times do you say I love you? How many times do you stop what your agenda is and figure out what it is that they need? Single mothers, I was one, so I could talk about it. When you bring in these outside people into your home, we've got to be careful.
Yes.
Because we deal with, trauma with children, girls and boys.
Yeah.
We're introducing our children to things that kids should not be exposed to.
Right.
And then we're having these adults around and having all this stuff because we feel like we're having fun.
Right.
But
That's
our
funny.
kids are dealing with things that they should not have to deal
Right. That's funny you said it, because I post something like that about a week or two ago on my Facebook page. Be careful who you have your kids around, because it was on the news where this man stuffed this young girl in a duffel bag or something in the luggage, like killed her.
The mom's
She was-
boyfriend.
Right, the boyfriend. You have to be careful who you bring into your kids' life. Like, get to know them first.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
And it's okay if they don't take it well. If me telling you can't come to my house,
And you can't
if
come
you
to
don't
my
take
house.
that well, then I guess we're not meant to be friends.
Right.
I guess not.
And it's okay to be by yourself.
Oh yeah, it's okay to be by yourself.
Sisters, it is okay
Yeah.
to be by yourself. Even when the mother and the father aren't together and the children have to go to the other family members' homes. Are we calling?
Right.
Are we checking to make sure little Billy
Are
isn't
we-
looking at stuff on YouTube with
Right.
his cousin that he know he can't look at
Right.
at home, but now he's exposed, and here are these ideas in his head. And then when you catch him doing something and you beat snot out of him, instead of figuring out where that
Right.
came from,
Right.
it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's that communication. We've got to take the time to talk. Just slow down and just realize that our children need us. They are the future. I was a little girl. I needed a lot of things that I didn't receive. So when I left home in 1987 to go to college, I didn't have in my bag of tricks how not to get pregnant.
Yeah.
I knew I didn't want to get pregnant because I had 3 sisters and the house pregnant at the same time.
Wow.
I graduated in June. There was a baby born in November, one in December, and one in January. And I knew that I just needed to get away because I didn't know what they was drinking and I didn't want none.
Yeah.
You want none of that water, huh?
But little did I know when I moved to Charlotte and this guy stepped on my new red boots at the Dougie Fresh concert.
Not Dougie.
That was it.
Let me see it, Dougie. I had no idea that because I was a roundaway girl and I could talk trash and I could, go back and forth with the best of them, because I had 2 brothers that taught me how to fight, that I would fall prey. And I was coming home pregnant my first year of college.
Wow.
Because I didn't have the things on the inside of me that I needed to say that my education is more important, my body is more important, my mind is more important. I've got goals, I've got things that I need to do, I've got values, and I'm not going to allow myself to be another statistic.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
And it's funny you say that, though, because I think a lot of times
Allergies.
people can get so caught up in a tough exterior, Oh, no, you can't play me. Just because you have street smarts don't mean that it's the little things. And even like you said, with working with the youth, with, making doctor's appointments, small stuff like that. I mean, I know plenty of girls that have gone through some stuff that as an adult I couldn't imagine going through, but it's small stuff like filling out a check they wouldn't know how to do.
Yeah.
So
But they're not being taught.
Right. Right.
Their parents don't know. So how can they
How
teach
can
them?
they pass that along?
That's the life we live in right now.
It really is. And so when we have our workshops, I meet with my youth every week on a Tuesday, the youth with my Columbia Urban League youth, my Level Up. When we meet, I bring in speakers to talk about these things. I bring in bankers to talk about opening a bank account. I bring in someone to say, dress for success. This is how you dress, and this is how you do not dress.
Right.
I bring in persons who have their own business. All of my girlfriends are professionals, and they either own their own business or work for an agency where I can bring them in and say, I want my youth to see somebody that looks like them, successful. So if I'm empowering them and every day they go home, they see chaos, they see mess, I can empower them all day.
Right.
But as soon as they get back home, if the person that they live with is broken, then they tear them down.
Right.
So we have to be very meticulous about empowering our youth and helping them to keep it. Give them something that they can hold on to. They need sustainability when they leave our presence. Most of them just want to know that somebody cares.
That's it. That's it. If you show them that you don't care, they're not going to care.
Yeah, and you have to get past their walls. They come in with the walls up, and they're not going to trust you.
You can't take offense to it.
No, they're not going to trust you just
Right.
because you come in there Miss Happy-Go-Lucky with your bag of tricks and
Right.
snacks and all this other stuff, and they're looking at you like, I don't know you, lady.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
You got to win that trust. You got to, build that trust between them and yourself to make them feel comfortable to let it out.
But first of all, you got to know yourself.
True that.
There's a lot of people that's out here trying to fix folk, and Lord knows
Right.
they need to be in the shop.
Yeah.
You just need to go lay up under a garage.
Yeah.
But that's when the truth comes in, because like you said earlier, you run into so many people that want to start organizations and want to start this and start that. But you have to be honest with yourself, because I'm the type of person, before I do you a disservice, because I just want to make a name for myself, I just want to have something,
Yeah.
I'm going to sit back and make sure I got this together.
First thing I tell people that want to start a nonprofit, I say, will you go to work when there's no money coming in?
That's when you know
If
it's
the
real.
answer's
That's
no.
that's when you know you have that passion for what you're doing.
Yeah. Nonprofit is not to make money. Nonprofit means just that, nonprofit.
Right.
You're not in this that you're providing a service that somebody's going to pay you for.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you already have the value and you want to bring value to someone else.
Right.
My motto is do it from the heart or don't do it at all.
Right.
Don't come to me talking about you want to help, you want to be a part of, you want me to be a part of what you're doing, or you need me to help you. You're not ready to move.
And see, that's what I say about foster care too. You have to be mindful who you placing these kids with, because a lot of these parents, people, are doing it for the wrong reasons. They see that
You see it
check
all the time.
coming.
You see it all the time.
Yeah,
And it comes out.
yeah,
And the youth that are aging out of foster care, when they turn 18 and you will not get a check again, and you put that child, because they're still a child, if you have not given them any tools while they were in your house
right.
to go into adulthood, then you're kicking them out because they're no longer.
Of value anymore to you.
And so there are so many different youth that are aging out of foster care that are out there lost because they don't have their family,
Right.
their real family. A lot of times the real family either lives in the same community or in the next town over, and they don't even want to deal with them.
Right. Sad but true. Yeah.
And this is the state of our youth. Our youth need for people to stand up for them. Our youth need for people to know that people care about them. Our youth need for us to take them by the hand and help them. Even as an adult, there's a lot of things that I still don't know.
Right.
We should all be wanting to learn every single day.
Yeah.
Imagine being 13 years old and being saying, you're not a baby no more, you ain't no child no more, but as
Right.
soon as you say something, you ain't grown, sit
Right.
down.
Which
Yeah.
is it? Which is it?
That's so confusing.
Yeah.
And they go through it every single day. And I'm tired, I'm a mama, I've been to work all day, I don't have time, I'm going to sleep, don't knock on my door, I don't want to hear no noise, don't bother me.
Yeah.
And your child has just been bullied at school
Yeah.
for the entire week, and they can't talk to you because you're tired, you mad,
Because they
you
came
upset.
home and got bullied again by mama.
Getting bullied both places. Like they don't know which way to turn.
And then you wonder why.
Yeah.
Why did he or she do what they did?
Right.
Because mama, you wasn't listening.
We have to take more time with our youth. We do. We appreciate you for all that you do for our youth. I mean, that's a blessing. If we have more people like you that's helping out and trying to get to the root of the problem,
Right.
this world will be a better place, right?
Yes. But I want to celebrate our youth. I love success. I love success stories.
Yeah.
So everything is not gloom and doom. My whole purpose of doing what I do is for the ones that I do see now, that I've worked with since I started my nonprofit 15 years ago, that say, Ms. Cooper, when you took me to that church convention, because I liked it back then when I first started my first nonprofit, I had not a dime. But I was like, I'm going to take these girls and I'm going to get them some culture in their life. So I would find out where there was a church banquet and get free tickets and take them around to different thrift stores or have people donate dresses and come and do their hair and their nails. And I would take them to these banquets to teach them etiquette.
Right.
How to sit,
Yeah.
how to act in public, how to interact with adults. It does not take a lot.
Right.
Mostly it just takes time.
Time.
And if you're wondering what can I do to help, be the change that you desire to see.
Yeah.
Everybody talk about change. What are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing to make a change? What are you doing, first of all, in your home? You got to start at home. Charity starts at home.
Yeah.
And then next door, across the street, somewhere around, there's a child that you can touch or be involved with. And then your community. There's so many different community centers already, but then there's some that are being built. Go and volunteer.
Yeah.
It goes back to, will you do the work if it's free? If you're not getting paid, will you do the work?
Right.
And everybody is not built for this. Everybody is not that type of mindset. But still do your part, because these are the ones that when we get older are going to be in the hospitals, in the doctor's offices, in the police stations, therapists.
Yeah.
These are the ones going to be in the restaurants. These are the ones that's going to be
Yeah.
driving Uber or whatever.
The ones we'll depend on.
These are the ones that's going to be in that old folks' home.
Right.
So I say, God has given me my own tribe, and I treat kids this way because I want somebody to do my children or my grandchildren the same way. So I sow good seeds so I can reap a good harvest.
Right.
When you sow bad seeds,
Exactly. Well, Sonyetta, we're gonna wrap it up, but tell everyone, if someone is looking for help, if they don't know which way they're going, they're trying to find the right road to get on, you know, to get their life on track. How can they reach you?
Well, on Facebook, my name on Facebook, my personal page is Sonyetta Cooper, and that's Sonyetta. And my business page is Sonyetta Cooper, the Conscious Coach, because that's what my name became in my coaching certification, the Conscious Coach, and also on Instagram, the Conscious Coach LLC. And my email address is my first and last name, Sonyetta Cooper 843 @yahoo.com.
All right, guys, so if you're out there and you're looking for someone to coach you in the right direction, you feel like, you know, you don't know where you're going in life, and you're just going through trials and tribulations, and you just need someone to coach you in that right direction, make sure you reach out to Miss Sonyetta Cooper. We're so blessed to have you sitting with us tonight. Thank you so much. Come back anytime.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm coming back for some of this tea.
For
Yes,
some
tea
tea.
is the bomb.
Thank you so much. You guys, thank you for watching Tangy Tea of a Life. That's going to do it for us tonight. Please like, subscribe, and leave comments below. And if you would like to be a guest on Tangy Tea of Life, make sure you go to our email, tangyteaoflife@gmail.com. If you have a letter that you would like for us to read, you know, if you don't want to, you know, sit here as a guest and you just want us to talk about things that you're going through, go to our email, tangyteaoflife@gmail.com. And don't forget to click that bell so that you can get notified for the next video. All right, guys. Bye. Talk to you later.